sound good. Let me turn down the. We got Tupac on.
Oh, okay.
Tupac's singing to us.
Right. He sensed the
What's
vibe.
up?
He know the vibes that's about to go on right now.
Right? He knows what. He's always known.
All right. So let me get this thing cracking the right way for us. So, Inkgeeks presents another episode of Tatchat, and today we have the incredible Atlanta's finest, Mr. Brandon Bond, in the building today. Man, how's everything going for you, brother?
Man, things are incredible here in Atlanta. I know the world's on fire. It's a crazy world out there, but tattooing is solid. I just got off 120 days straight. I took one day off, and that's 15 hours a day of tattooing, 10,000 hours. I took one day off for my birthday and one day off for my birthday this week, and otherwise, fucking throwing it out, man.
Yeah, damn, man. So, yeah, you definitely cooking down there, man. You cooking it up down there.
I'm telling you, I'm exhausted. I need a day off.
So I kind of wanted to start out going asking about all of the collaborations that you do, because your shop is definitely known for doing the collabs. So what sparked that idea? Is that something that you knew that you always wanted to do, was collaborating with others?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you asked about it. We're expecting a box of magazines tomorrow. Shout out to Skin and Ink magazine. I write articles for them. And tomorrow we're getting a box. There's a new 8-page feature on collaboration. And I was fortunate enough to interview some of my heroes in collaboration, like Paul Booth, who began that with Philip Liu and Guy Aitchison back when I was a young tattooer.
Okay.
Tattoo Earth, I was there. I watched it, but I wasn't involved because I was just a dumb kid doing flash tattoos back then. Right. And those guys, Yamako, the Rat Pack, Danny Elliott, I'm interviewing too. Like part 2 I'm working on now, which will be coming out, I guess, spring of 2021. Hopefully a better year for everyone. But yeah, I was really into collaboration early on. I still am. In fact, I'm in the middle of a 6-day marathon right now, doing a collaboration marathon with Crush Captain from Florida. He's down Miami way. Okay. He's here now. And we just finished a 3-day piece yesterday. So the way this all started was when we first opened All or Nothing, I knew that collaboration was the future. I knew that it's like steroids. It's like if you're already really proficient at tattooing, you plateau, it's a way to get to the next level quickly. You're both teaching and learning simultaneously. You're out of your comfort zone, you're using machines.
So it's like steel sharper than steel.
Yes, it is. It's like for tattoo artists. It's difficult. I mean, it's different. You basically two artists have to become one mind, and you become one artist, and you produce one cohesive piece of art together. It's challenging, and it's at times frustrating, but it's vital, and it has opened a lot of doors. The first thing I did when I opened All or Nothing Tattoo was I got my back done collaboratively. I spent all my money on the floors and the ceilings, and what I had left over, I flew to Connecticut and I got my back piece done by Eric Merrill and Joe Capabianco. So I've been through it. I understand it, and came back, and we've been collaborating ever since. That was 20 years ago, and I'm again tomorrow. Like, we still do them every day. It's awesome. Steroids.
And I was going to ask you, like, well, you kind of spoke on the pros of, I was asking you the pros and cons of all of the collaborations. You kind of spoke on the pros of it, you know. You ever had any bad situation? You don't have to say, you know, anybody names or anything, but any time where it didn't quite go as it was expected?
Yes. I wouldn't say bad, though. Sometimes there's pitfalls. For example, if somebody, it's interesting. Tattooers will understand this. with two people tattooing at the same time, it's not just the wiping that moves the body part, it's also releasing. So as I release to get ink and come back in, if I release, the whole body part moves. So
Gotcha.
I have a couple people that are a little brutal on the client's leg or arm or whatever. And when they grab it, it moves. And when they release it, it moves. So I'm like, whoa, God, man. I'm fucking. And that happened with Crush Captain at first. I was his first collaboration. He's an incredible artist. He does anime stuff. Definitely for all your followers, you should check out Crush Captain.
All right.
But yeah, he's a big muscle guy, you know, and he's a little brutal. So it was like tattooing in a moving van over some speed bumps. But I mean, it came out great, and you just have to adjust. Another pitfall would be that you are oftentimes very diverse artists, which is a good thing. Like Crush Captain, for example, that does anime exclusively. That doesn't mean he can't do other styles. It just means that's what he's known for and specializes in.
Right.
So for him, it was out of his comfort zone. The piece we just finished yesterday, posted it on my page. Check it out. Not anime. We're doing anime the next couple days. I actually have the designs right behind me right now. But it's good to get someone out of their comfort zone, and he did more of like a surrealism kind of thing. Now, his color saturation is off the charts, so it was a relatively easy transition, but during the creation of the piece, there was definitely some of this happening where he's like, I don't know about that, like, fuck that. And I'm like, no, it'll be cool. I mean, you know, it's a journey to get to the promised land, but what you end up with is a piece of art that I wouldn't have done by myself and that he wouldn't have done himself. So the client receives an exponentially unique tattoo that no one else on earth will have anything like. And the clients, I think, are fascinating. The people that, like the guy who was just here, came to us from Tennessee, I think. He's a military intelligence officer, really sharp guy. Okay. And he got tattooed 3 days in a row, like it was nothing. And ended up so happy and so stoked. He's coming back to get the other side of his leg done in March. So it's a good thing. Yeah, it's unique.
Yeah, definitely a unique experience. And that's something I don't think people probably think about much is you do have to build that chemistry and that rapport with the other person that you're working with. Cause like you said, just something that's so simple as, you know, grabbing the client and releasing the client, it moves the client while the other person is still putting in work.
Right. There's an artist named Ruben. He's at Ruben Art with 2 U's. He's in Norway right now. He works here. I'm actually in the room right now where he tattooed for the last year. And he and I collaborated probably 30 times together. Like we both enjoy working together. And he's an exceptional artist who, watch out for him in 2021. Like his new stuff is crazy. Like I said, it's like steroids. Here we go. And he and I tattooed to the point where we don't even have to communicate with each other anymore. Like I can do one side and he can do the other side, and you can't tell who did what. As long as our color palettes are the same and our needle groupings are the same and we're both looking at the same reference, we can execute it flawlessly. And that's difficult to achieve. That does take a certain kind of chemistry. You know, it was not like that at first. He was a little abrupt too with that stuff. But now, like we just did our stomach, and I can't even tell who did what side. I mean, I know who did what side, but they look the same, is what I mean. It's cool.
Yeah, that's super dope. So did you always envision yourself becoming a top-notch, one of the go-to tattoo artists?
I don't know that I envisioned it, but I always strived for it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, you know, I just hit 30 years of tattooing this week.
Congrats on that. That's major right there. 30 years of committed to anything is impressive.
30 years is a long time, man. I started living in tattoo shops when I was 16, and I just turned 46. So, and I still live in tattoo shops. I'm in one right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been the single most defining and important thing in my life for the majority of my life, all of my adult life. And tattooing is a gift. It's a blessing. It saved my life. I was a crazy young man, and it gave me a sense of direction and purpose. So, and I always used to, even as a young 16-year-old, I would look at tattoo magazines and not understand, like, how are these guys doing this? And what I'm seeing around me doesn't look like that. Right. So I've always been West and still am. When I see some of these crazy European guys, like Jay Freestyle, shout out to Jay Freestyle. He's a great dude. He's coming to collaborate. He's in that article. When I see someone like his stuff, I'm like, what are you doing there? Show me. I want to know. Like that little kid is still embedded in my psyche, and I'm always better. And that's the great thing about tattooing. Nobody is the best. Like, everybody is constantly growing, plateauing, growing again, plateauing. Mm-hmm. Like, we're all on a journey together. And with the advent of the internet and curved mags and rotaries and like all these different things, different ink palettes, right? We're exponentially growing faster than we were back in 1991. Used to be, I would have to physically drive across the country and sit down in a tattoo shop and look at their portfolio and maybe get tattooed by them to find out what kind of orange do you use or whatever. And if they're nice enough to tell me, then I would go back and try and replicate it. Nowadays, I can see what they're doing in Poland as soon as we hang up today, live. It's incredible. So everyone is exponentially growing faster, and we're all pushing each other. But in a camaraderie kind of way. Most of us get along with each other and respect what we're doing, you know. I talk to other tattooers every day, all the time, about every piece I do and every piece they're doing. And it's inspiring. And a lot of different styles. For example, Ed Diablo, great fucking artist. I don't tattoo anything like that, but I love his shit. It's great.
Absolutely.
He's a great artist everyone should check out too, Ed Diablo.
All right, we definitely would take note of that. So you mentioned that you started looking at art and tattoos when you were about 16. Is that when you actually start doing tattoos?
That's a good question. I started looking at tattoos before that. When I was a kid, I was fascinated. I think a lot of us are. And I was doing art, but I was doing the same art everyone else was, like little pen and ink drawings of like album covers and shit that looked terrible. And I started getting tattoo magazines wherever I could when I was a kid and wanting to be tattooed. I got tattooed. Not very good stuff. I've since had it lasered off and tattooed over. Okay. So my journey started early. I was getting tattooed illegally for sure as a youngster. You're supposed to be 18. I got my first when I was 13. But things were different back then. This was back when we very first started wearing gloves, pretty much. Like, things were very...
Yeah, that's a big difference from today, from right now, 2020, that's for sure.
Right. Now we got to wear a whole body condom to do a tattoo.
Exactly.
I got right here. I just got a new mask for my birthday.
There you go.
Shout out.
Man, you gotta wear all that stuff just to go in the grocery store nowadays, you know? I mean, that's where we at with it right now. So I can imagine not using gloves at that time.
Right, and we did. I mean, we wore gloves during the process, but while we were cleaning tubes and stuff, we didn't have gloves on. We didn't understand the way we do now.
Right.
Speaking of COVID, you know that Europe's already shut down. My friends over there are fucked. And
I know. We interviewed an artist last week from London, and he told us that they're in shutdown at least until like early December sometime.
Yeah, see, that's horrible. I feel for those guys. All our friends out in California, I know they've been really struggling. Holland, freestyle, Norway's shut down, Holland shut down, Germany shut down. Like, It's coming. I think they might try and do it to us again. We'll see.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if, we had to go through another shutdown, coming
Yeah.
up soon, actually, because they say
I,
all the
I'm
numbers
not.
have been ramping up.
Hopefully not. But I
Yeah,
mean,
hopefully
we will.
not. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can get it under control, but I would
Yeah,
not be surprised, though.
I wouldn't either. And we're preparing for it here. I mean, we go through an insane amount of stuff right now. If you come to the front door, the door's locked. We got to hand sanitize. You got to wash your hands. You got to wear a mask. Can't have your friends with you. It's one person. Like, it's an intense set of guidelines we have here in Georgia. And of course, tattoo shops, we're supposed to be sanitary anyway. So
Right.
we were already doing a lot of that stuff, just not necessarily the hand washing and all that
Yeah.
for the client. But I mean, it's a sanitary environment. We sterilize and sanitize everything several times a day anyway.
Right.
Now it's harder to get all the products. That's the other problem. Ordering like rubbing alcohol, hand sanitizer, gloves. I just spent $1,000 on 2 cases of gloves because they're hard to find. Everybody out there knows where to get. We got 25 people working here. That 2 cases is like a day. We need a shitload of gloves. Message me.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And that's something that you really don't have to think about under any normal circumstances. Like,
Never.
yeah.
Never. Not in 30 years. It's never been an issue.
You're right. And now everything
Yeah.
is on back order. All the basic cleaning supplies, all the toilet paper. I still don't quite understand why everybody was stocking up on toilet paper so much, but
yeah, you guys are crazy with the toilet paper out there. Viewers, why did you buy all the toilet paper? What? Paper towels too. Nobody talks about that, but we can't tattoo without paper towels, and they was hard.
Yeah, true. Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. So let me ask you, how does it feel to be voted the best shop in Atlanta? When you first got that initial vote, how did that feel for you?
Really good. I remember it like it was yesterday, and now we're talking about 2002, 2003. This was a while ago now. But when I first opened the studio, it wasn't even half as big as it is now. We've since taken over the whole building, like a virus. But one sliver of the building, and it was just me and a couple other guys. And so to elevate in such a short period of time, because there's a lot of great shops in Atlanta. Props to Atlanta artists. There's a lot of great tattooers here, a lot of which worked here originally.
Okay.
So several of the shop owners are actually my former apprentices too, which is cool. I mean, that's tattooing, man.
Definitely.
So of that growth happened early on, and to be voted best of Atlanta anytime, but all the times, is always a big deal, and we appreciate it. We're real humble about it because we understand there's really good shops here. Atlanta's a hot spot for tattoos, man.
It is, man.
A lot of great artists.
It definitely is. And so we know over the years you've done a lot of tattoos for a lot of celebrities, a lot of athletes. So
Definitely.
when did that come about? Was that always in place, or was it a particular year when they started flocking to you?
I'd say probably 2005-ish was when you couldn't pick up a tattoo magazine without seeing our stuff in it. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I'm very humble about and grateful to the magazines for all that they do. Still to this day, the ones showing tomorrow, I'm excited.
You're right.
That helped a lot because people read, or especially back then, this was before the internet took over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I started tattooing people like Nas. That was cool. And started tattooing, as far as athletes, the Atlanta Braves was where I started. But that since spread to 18 other teams. Now I tattoo all 18, which is half of the league. Eventually, I want to do everybody. We'll see. And that then led, because of course the MLB guys know the NFL guys who know the NBA guys. And so it's chain of domino. And people are just like, where'd you get that? And they're like, here's his cell number. So it has spread. And a lot of bands and stuff get tattooed in my public studio. I own All or Nothing Tattoo. That's us right there.
Right.
And it's a huge facility with 20 people working here, and great artists. I import from all over the world, and we have guest artists every week. So a lot of celebrities and bands have come through that I didn't even know they were here. Like Chris Jericho. I'm a wrestling fan from when I was a kid. That's
Okay,
awesome.
yeah. Y2J, yeah.
I didn't even tattoo him. I met him. He hung
Uh-huh.
out in my, but he got tattooed by my staff. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Right.
So that happens often where I'll just be walking through the shop and I'll be like, wait a second, who are you? You know what I mean? You look
Right.
like Chris Jericho.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's pretty dope. That goes to show how far, your legacy kind of reaches, where everybody trusts your apprentices and, the people that work under you. So that's definitely a good thing though.
Definitely. And it's a really good thing because I can't tattoo everybody. I'm old. I need a nap, man. I'm worn out. And so yeah, I need my guys to take a lot of those tattoos, and most clients message want to get tattooed by me, but I'm like, well, here, check out this link real quick. Look at this. Like right now, before this interview, we have a guy named @Dipshit Dave Tattoos, really hot fucking artist,
Okay.
young artist. I just sent him 3 of my clients, and he's out there tattooing a huge skull octopus thing right now. I can walk you out there if you want. He's out there doing it right now. And yeah, that was probably one of mine that wanted to get tattooed, but I'm booked doing all this crazy shit with Crush Captain right now. So,
Right.
it's cool.
So,
We're a big family of artists, a bunch of
right.
inspired, talented people.
So let me ask you about that then. What do you look for in an artist before you bring an artist in?
That's an excellent question. I am looking, like I just referenced that guy Dave. I mentioned
Mm-hmm.
Ruben earlier. Because we do walk-ins, we do everything from infinity symbols up to entire legs in 3 days and everything in between, like we just did yesterday. So, like, while I'm in here tattooing with Crush Captain on that guy's whole leg, they're out there doing Friday the 13th tattoos. You know what? Like little bangers. So
Okay.
everything. What I look for is work ethic. And when I review someone's portfolio, I want to see diversity, that they're able to accomplish lots of things and they're right on the edge. That's the best part. Like they're about to figure this thing out. And with just a gentle nudge forward, they're going to fucking accelerate and do their own thing and find their own voice. And that's how it was with Ruben. That's how it is with our guest artist today, Dipshit. And same with, we have another guest coming this week, Noeko. I think I'm saying that right. She does insane lettering. So it's people that aren't quite there yet, but that are
Mm-hmm.
right on the edge of greatness.
Okay.
I cultivate talent for a living. That's my main job. And if
Right.
I see someone working hard on their own, I know if I drop them in the middle of a whole bunch of badass artists, all of a sudden they're going to flourish like Miracle Grow or steroids, and they're gonna flourish and be awesome, and that's fun. That's my favorite part of the job, is to see someone find their own voice and develop to where they're buying houses. It's not a hobby, it's a career. They're getting married, they're having babies, they're booked 6 months in advance. Like, it's phenomenal, and it's been happening for 20 years. It's my favorite part.
Yeah,
So
that's dope, and it's good to hear that you got genuine, love for what you're doing and the
yeah,
people that you work around as well. Like that's really refreshing to hear nowadays.
definitely. I want to see everybody successful, man. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I feel like I'm dragging a bunch of shit up a hill, but we're doing
Yeah,
it no matter what. We're moving forward, and
right.
it really is. Like when I find somebody who's willing to tattoo anything, like they don't care, they'll do whatever, but then they've got their own art over here and it's starting to come together for them. I know if
Mm-hmm.
I just massage that a little bit, boom, they're gonna flourish and do their own thing. So that's what I'm looking for, is somebody who can do walk-ins, but is about to really turn up the gas. You know what I mean? To step on that
Okay.
accelerator. And the only way to do that is to work hard. So if somebody's lazy and shows up late all the time, and then you don't love what you do. I show up early still at 30 years, and I don't even have to.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
I mean, you just said that you work for what 120 straight days consecutively.
Yes. Yes.
So I think that shows that work ethic goes a long way with you.
Definitely. Definitely. And I mean, that's what it takes. That's the one thing, one of the things I love about tattooing is I'm not dependent on a bunch of other people. I show up, I'm on time, I have my art ready, I execute that image, and I'm successful. I don't require any other thing to happen other than that. And for each artist to find their own voice, their own path, and to be able to execute what they're trying to do on their own is a beautiful thing to see. And of course, collaboration prior to that does help that. Like a lot of the stuff I'm doing right now, I learned through collaboration with other artists. So, I mean, even at 30 years, you can learn. The old dogs learn new tricks all the time. I got a whole different for 2021. We got some crazy shit coming out. I got it on my iPad. It's ready to go. The iPad, I call it MySpace because I don't know these crazy kids. I draw on paper. But now I'm learning how to use my iPad. It's right back here. And and I'm exaggerating. I'm not really a novice anymore. Like I get it. But some of these kids, man, come in here. Like I'm collaborating with an artist named Cootie 24, I think, or something. Anyway, he's coming December 3rd through the 5th. He's only been tattooing 3 fucking years, man. 3 years. And he's incredible. I'll probably learn some shit from him at 30 years, and he's 3. Shout out to Cootie. What's up, Cootie?
Shout out to Cootie there. And to switch gears a little bit, I seen that a couple of months ago, you and your shop did a food drive in Atlanta.
Always. Yes.
Always. So tell us about that. How long have you been doing the food drives or just giving back in general?
We have always done charity. Initially, we did animal rescue stuff, and I was real well known for that back in the day. We did a documentary. I was on Animal Planet a bunch. Pitbull Rescue, which is still a page on Instagram at ATL Pit Rescue. But that's because I didn't like people. So I dealt with animals. Like as we became, I wanted to give something back. So we did a lot for animals. But as I matured and I grew and I started to see just in my community, families struggling. It was around 2008 when the economy tanked. People were losing their houses. Over to people. And we started with toy drives for kids because kids ain't got it ain't their fault. They still need Christmas. Exactly. And we do toy drives. And then we branched into food drives. So it was food and toys. And basically you bring down a bag of food and toys and we'll tattoo you cheap. And we just accumulate it till it's like a semi truck full and we take it to a different charity every year. Okay. And through the church that I work with, they do a different affiliation. Like sometimes it might be battered women, or it might be homeless people, or it might be just disadvantaged foster kids, or like it's always something different. And we're about to do another one this week. I'm meeting with them right after these collaborations to determine what charity we're going to donate all of it to, because it's a lot. You know what I mean? If we're all tattooed and it ends up being like we can't keep it here, we got to keep it in a storage unit. So we're doing that again for Christmas this year, and we will every year as long as we're here.
Right.
Try and put some. There's so many problems. We need some motherfucking love. Just put some love in it, and everybody will be okay.
There you go.
Everybody calm down.
That's what the world is missing. Some love right now, man. Everybody on some.
I'm telling you, it's crazy out there.
It is.
It's crazy.
It's wild out here. So another thing that you touched on was you had Tupac playing in the background when we first got on. You tattooed Nas. Like, what's the vibes? Is it always music going on in the studio? Always good smelling stuff going on before the sessions get started?
Before we even turn on the open sign, we have to have music. It's a rule. Because I feel like being in a tattoo shop with no music, I like, what's wrong? Are we being robbed? Like, why is it so quiet? So yeah, I mean, I think that's part of artistic creation too. You got to feel the vibe, and it's. I personally love '90s hip hop, but we tattooed all kinds of music, and you know, everybody here has different tastes, and so but there's all playing throughout the shop, and it's usually pretty loud for sure. We are next to an elementary school, so there's no weed smoking. I caught that reference. We can't smoke. We're next to an elementary school, and I respect the rules. Georgia, you know, some of our California artists are like, weed's not a drug. And I'm like, it is in Georgia.
Right. But yeah. Like, what you talking about? Like, that's just from the earth, baby.
Right. And it's common to hear that. California guys, Colorado guys, like, I get it. But yeah, for now, we just focus on art, and music is a big part of that, though. You know, we got Subway. It's loud. It's a big facility. There's 11 booths plus 2 private studios. So altogether, 16 people can tattoo at the same time comfortably, maybe more. Of course, with COVID right now, there's limits on how many people can even be under the roof. Like, it's stupid. But we follow it. We follow it religiously, and it's all appointment only. Right. So people will come in, their appointment, and then they'll bounce. I mean, you know, we're doing what we got.
Right. That's good. I wouldn't expect nothing less. Let everybody know what's the address of the shop. Where is the shop located at down there?
We are located at 2569 South Cobb Drive in a suburb of Atlanta called Smyrna, Georgia. Right. Smyrna is the city that's on the side of your Glock. Every Glock in the world has the word Smyrna written on the side. Okay. Wonderful community right outside of it. It's a suburb, basically. The shop page is at AON Tattoo, like all or nothing tattoo, AON Tattoo. And there you can see all the guests coming and going, and all the chaos, and all the great art that we try and put out every day. So yeah, check it out. We appreciate the art too. We appreciate you guys.
Man, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate your time today. And before I let you go, I just want to ask, what was your the funniest or the wildest or just most unexpected tattoo session that you can think of, either with a celebrity or non-celebrity, just the craziest experience you can remember?
Well, you brought up Nas again. That's a good one. I can say this. This was the first time I tattooed him. It's on YouTube, by the way. If you just look up Nas Gets Tattooed. It was when him and Khalees, am I saying that right?
Yeah, Khalees. Yeah,
Khalees
they was married.
They were still married, but things were rocky. Okay. And he came and got tattooed, and she wanted to get tattooed too. But I didn't have time, and I'm like, I don't know, because she's all, you know, like, and I'm like, no, I'm doing his whole ribs at the time. I'm like, I'm kind of busy.
Okay.
They were kind of getting into it, and he drank 2 entire bottles of Patron.
Damn.
Through a McDonald's straw. Wow, he got his ribs back like this with a McDonald's straw. And I didn't tell him he could. I mean, I told him it was a bad idea, but he's Nas. I'm not his dad. Like, whatever,
right.
Nas.
Right. That's good. Yeah.
Do what you want, bro. And he did. He even sent my apprentice, after he finished the first bottle, to the liquor store. Bottle. Now, this was, 15 years ago. But yeah, so fucked up by the end of it that he's all over the place. It was funny. But, I mean, we were since the divorce. Congratulations on that. I supported that divorce 100%. But the milkshake girl was not my client. I never tattooed her, so I'm allowed to say that.
Okay.
Fuck it. Yeah. Her milkshake does not bring me to the yard. Let's just put it.
All right, Brandon, man, we appreciate you so much for your time today, dude. We know you are very, very busy down there But
So good.
thank you so much for checking in with our followers here at Inkgeeks, man.
I
Much
love
continued success to you.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time. I know it's valuable, and I really appreciate it. I'm honored to be on your live stream here, and we'll help promote it from our end for sure.
All right,
So
good looking, man. Good looking. We appreciate you, man. And when the pandemic is over or whatnot, as soon as we can, we definitely want to take a trip down there to All or Nothing and check that
come
out. Check
on.
that big building out there.
Yes, come on. We'll have some Tupac on, or maybe, but not Khalees. But
All
we will.
right. So Pac with some knives, but not Khalid, not no milkshake.
No milkshakes. All right, man. Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, Brandon. Love, man.
All right. Thank you.